Was Europe really built on theft? Or is that just a modern narrative with a grain of truth? Today, you'll hear it everywhere. Europe only got rich because it looted the rest of the world. Britain, France, Spain, Portugal, apparently they were all irrelevant until colonialism turned them into superpowers. But if you actually study history, you'll understand that it's not quite that simple. Europe didn't start with empire, it built the tools for empire first. Yes, colonialism brought enormous wealth. Spanish galleons dragged mountains of silver from the Andes. The British got fat off Caribbean sugar, Indian textiles, and the Atlantic slave trade. The Dutch ran global trading companies like the VOC, effectively functioning as private empires. But Europe wasn't some helpless backwater before this. So let's rewind for a second. The University of Bologna was founded in 1088, Oxford 1096, Paris around the same time. These institutions were churning out scholars centuries before anyone heard of Columbus or Cortez. Florence invented modern banking in the 14th century. Venice was running a maritime empire long before Vasco da Gama rounded the Cape. The Hanseatic League dominated Northern European trade from the 1200s. The printing press, invented in the 1440s by Gutenberg before the Americas were even discovered. Double entry bookkeeping, developed in 13th century Italy. These were the preconditions for empire: knowledge, capital, organization, not the result of it. Europe's rise started within Europe, not in Jamaica or in the Congo or in the Philippines. Of course, colonialism supercharged everything. Spanish Empire was swimming in silver. The British grew rich on East India Company trade and plantation slavery. But those systems plugged into existing frameworks: legal systems, financial institutions, navigation tech, and domestic manufacturing. The Industrial Revolution? Yes, cotton imports mattered and were important. But so did coal from Manchester, steam engines from Watt and Boulton, and factories powered by engineers, not slaves. Germany and Italy barely had overseas colonies, yet by the early 20th century they were industrial giants. Meanwhile, Spain, despite its vast empire, declined into irrelevance. Why? Because it failed to innovate. Colonies brought money, but money without reform is like steroids without a training plan, useless and often destructive. Look at Switzerland, no empire, yet one of the world's wealthiest countries today. Scandinavia, similar, high development, minimal colonial involvement. Empire wasn't a magic formula, and for many it ended up being a poison chalice. So why has the idea that Europe stole everything become such a dominant narrative? Well, simply put, it's emotionally satisfying. It gives you a villain and a very simple story. Bad guys stole everything, good guys suffered. And while colonialism was savage, brutal, and exploitative, let me be clear that that is absolutely the case, it didn't create Europe. It just made the rich richer. Colonialism is a chapter in Europe's story, but the story started long before. To say Europe was only built on conquest is like saying cathedrals are only built with stolen gold, without mentioning the stone or the genius who designed it. When we oversimplify these things, it's not just lazy history, it's bad history.